Looks like Tasty's going back in. It's gonna be Ellie versus Ellie, with huge buttman gonna be first up. Again, putting that cloak covering the big old butt. Like, why would you do that? Teasing us. Gonna be stunned out of the Earth Elemental. Trying to see if he can interrupt the Lightning Lasso. Tasty with a place though. Huge Buttman does get himself opportunity to recover. Skyfear Totem was used, so actually you can see a bit of difference between the two. Tasty playing for him at Stormkeeper. Huge Buttman playing for that Ascendance, but not a real Ascendance. I think it's just a legendary for Ascendance. But maybe I could be wrong. Trying to continue Lava Burst spam, which Tasty is going to be knocked back on a huge Buttman. Might go for a little bit of recovery. Going to be quick interrupt by Tasty, but it's going to be a flash cut ready to go. 20% damage reduction. It's going to drop down an Earthquake onto Tasty. Force it out and trick under the Shaman either way. As Tasty did get hit with a Hex. Light lets on Tasty. Huge Buttman standing next to him. Does he have a big old gold rage to go right down? It's going to be Sky Fury. He's going to get himself a sentence. Huge burst versus Tasty. Actually, super low health. Does he end up taking him out? Does he have an interrupt? It's going to be sheer in last second. Tasty got himself a heal out of nowhere. Buttman does get himself a heal also as well out of nowhere. Massive setup versus Buttman. Does record back behind the pillar for a second. One healer turns two. Lightning Lasso stopping him. I think it's over. Oh my god, the burst out of this Shamans, dude. This dude just got each other so low. Twice now. Oh my god, that was intense. More intense than I expected it to be. My tummy hurts after watching that now. Tasty, trying to see if he can catch up a heal. Gonna be a flesh cut as they get hit with a skull bash from Alonium. As the Pharaohs look to sink their claws in, Brutal Slash versus Tasty, just trying to see if they can tear that Shaman apart. As Tasty needs himself a lot of recovery, knocked back into the Pharaoh for a second. Those Moonfires are just going to keep building up more comp points for Alonia. Lightning Lasso to wrangle up this kitty. Tasty at least got some slows for the cat, if anything. Trying to make sure he doesn't get interrupted on the cast. Trying to see if he can get a juke, but if you juke too much, you just can't really stop it. Does get a juke out of Alonia, as long as there's no stones by the Pharaoh. Tasty could potentially recover out of this, setting up a Stormkeeper, and that's going to be a Lava Burst setup. I think he's trying to see if he can get himself a go. Lava Burst flying in, could be potentially big zaps, maimed by Alonium. And Tasty could be a big trouble, unless you can walk out of that Resonator. Yeah, unless you can walk out of that Resonator trinket. There's only so much you can really do. Adva going to be up next versus Alonia. Going in for the quick axe toss versus the Feral. As I set up a gateway, it's going to be a Tyrant going in really early on with a stun to follow right after. Mortical, it's going to be decimated. Both Alonia finds line inside the wall of the Psalm. Actually, the pets were doing quite so much damage towards Alonia, with just the Tyrant as well as the Opolis. They're still continuing to blast Alonia. Quick Fear onto the kitty, does get himself a Decimated Bolt. Could be potentially big Demon Bolts out. Big bite to follow. Barks it up for Alonia as they're trying to see if they can catch up in a Flesh God. Quick interrupt by the Warlock. As they continue the pressure versus Alonia. It looks like a lot of the potential damage, a lot of that momentum, a lot of the demonic army has fallen apart for Adva for a little bit. So we have to wait for a little bit longer until we see all of the demons joining in the fight. Adva, being forced out in Ursul's Vortex, not much it can really do. Big old bite to Alonia. Still continue to get as many demon pets as possible. Quick Mortical into a Fear. As Adva just trying to maintain themselves as best as possible, letting Alonia catch up behind the pillar. And go for a bit of a reset. Gonna be a quick port as Alonia needs to waddle towards Adva, get the bleeds back up and running. Gonna be a stun as they're approaching, so Adva cutting him off right before they can do it. Trying to see if they can maybe line up another Fear versus the Feral. Looks like the Demon Dog is joined in. Could potential to have a bit more of a bite in terms of damage. Does not have the Decimate Bolt just yet. Trying to be very careful with those interrupts versus Alonia. Big bleeds coming down with the tier set. Adva could be in big trouble. That's gonna be a wall with a drain. Try to see if they can might be able to save a portion of their health as those bleeds are just completely rampaging right through them. Alonia trying not to give this Warlock any kind of opportunity to recover. Quick stun into Alonia. Mortical to follow. That's gonna be a CC. Oh, I thought maybe they might be able to escape him, but that Decimated Bolt already hedging in their sides. Last minute trinket. Unless you had a heal there or some kind of a stun for Adva, I don't know if there's any way to escape it. With Nizra gonna be up next. Nice with a stun onto Adva. And Adva with the Demon Dog is changing those. Trying to see if he can maybe land a Fear. Does he have any mobility? Adva getting interrupted on Fear. Could be in a tight situation. He's going to try to go for a Tyrant. As the stun comes out, trying to maybe get himself a Fear onto Nice. He's going to go for a port. Needs to make sure that the pets are able to freely attack Nice as best possible. Try to give him line of sight, but puts himself in dangerous situation. Could be in a really tight spot. Going to be another Immolation aura up with a Fell Rush to follow interrupt. And Nice does end up slaying the Warlock at the last second with Ari walking up. We hit him with a quick blind, trying to make sure he has enough control. That's going to be a full stun on a Demon Hunter. Perfect opportunity for him to maybe land some recovery. I don't know if the Demon Hunter is a Necrolord. I imagine he is. It's gonna just try to see if he can escape Arhi in general while evasion is up by the rogue. Now he's just trying to see if they can mitigate as much of the damage as possible. Should have made pretty dark as a stun, but that's gonna be a thing down for the count. As Arhi got a stun with the Resident Trinket. Didn't necessarily need that extra bonus grenade, but did it either way. And that's gonna be Fassel sending up a gateway of his own, another Demonology Warlock. As Arhi, as an Outwork, generally we do struggle with Demonology Warlocks a little bit, mainly because of those pets. They end up doing quite a lot of pressure to us, and there's just an opportunity for those pets just gives so much control. But also, like, as we try to control Fassel, we almost feel like, man, maybe I should control these pets too. Cloaker shots for Arhi very, very early on, but still, those pets, the fellow guards, the fellow lord, it just did so much damage. Arhi dips down so low for a second, but does create an escape with a quick vanish, even burning a trinket for it. Looks like Fassel picking up the eyes. I think his pets might be able to see where Arhi work is at. As Arhi hanging up with the other set of eyes, is going to catch himself a quick reset. The stun after the pets comes out, but the Demon Dog is closing in. Arhi, unless he haven't played right now, he might be over. Oh, blinded to one of the pets, but by the time he figured out what he was trying to do, CC one of the pets, trying to see if he can maybe get CC onto Fassel as well. It's a tight situation to be in. Krager charging over to Fassel. It's going to be quick fear reflect onto Fassel as Krager goes for shattering throw. The Fleshcraft shield falls apart. Darkback is instead replaces it as Fassel trying to see if he can tank up some of the damage from Krager as he's looking to unleash a lot of the brutality. Bladestorm trying to keep himself mobile. Looks like the main pet might actually have died just now. Looks like it is going to be a quick resummon for a fresh new Felguard, or rather Wraithguard. Fassel with the fear into Krager, trying to generate some more shadow bolts. Is going to go for a port as Krager activated the banner. Is going to try to see if he can charge over towards Fassel. Not giving a break, not giving opportunity to reset. Fassel is just getting chopped up. It looks like he just goes down. Oh my goodness. I was about to say for a second actually, why did I hear those chops? I think my audio is scuffed this round, boys. I just realized my audio is scuffed. Dalaran charging out versus Fassel, versus Krager with the Bladestorm to follow as he got a banner rolling against an arms warrior charging out towards Krager. Krager with the leap. Looks like it's going to be Dalaran catching up right next to him. Quick fear, midair as Krager trying to see if he can mitigate some of the damage to Dalaran as he activates Avatar. Just trying to see if he can unleash the full burst versus Krager. Big banner, keeping him afloat. Krager might have to rotate some defenses here. Looks like Dalaran is not playing for any kind of stuns. I don't know if he's playing for any disarms either. Krager trying to see if he can reverse it towards Dalaran. Whichever one is going to pop defensive first. Might be in a tight situation. Stun out of nowhere by Dalaran. Could have used it way earlier. Bury up, but the flash gun does still get interrupted somehow by Krager. Krager going for a flash gun zone, trying to recover his own health. And Dalaran diving into himself for just a second. Krager knew where he was at. Shattering throw, trying to see if he can break through his shield of Krager. I don't know if that shattering throw really did go through. I think Krager might have been able to juke around Dalaran to stop it. Disarm to Krager. Looks like Dalaran had disarm and stun. He was just waiting to use him until a little bit later. Looks like maybe he was trying to force Krager to use all the defensive before he used any of those other tools. Stun onto Krager as he got himself in rage regen. Does the Fury Warrior have a way to reconnect with Dalaran? He does not. He's going to activate for himself. Recklessness though could be a tight situation for Dalaran. Not a lot of survivability in this situation. Oh my god, Krager just ran right over the guy. It was kind of like a weird charge around, kind of zigzag left and right, but did end up taking him out. My goodness, that was actually so good, boys. $2 on the warrior. Yeah. I feel like that's a bet you can't lose. All right, Krager, Gray, and Sean, we gotta get you guys back in here. Let's get another going, boys.